Hello, everyone. What if I told you the destiny of the 2025 Cleveland Browns isn't confined to a single name or a solitary narrative? What if this season, this very moment in time, stands at a pivotal crossroads, one of those rare inflection points where everything shifts and nothing is certain? I'm not just referring to wins and losses. I'm talking about identity, legacy, the quarterback hierarchy, the defensive throne, and how a lone fifth-round pick and a $16 million zero-cents contract might ultimately dictate the fate of this franchise for the next half-decade. So please take a moment to smash that subscribe button, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your unwavering support. Let's begin with the moment that ignited the internet. Yes, it all started with a dance. Something spontaneous, almost innocent, a fleeting moment captured on video featuring Browns rookie quarterback and fifth-round selection Shedeur Sanders. With his signature blend of swagger and curiosity, Sanders turned to the 40-year-old Joe Flacco and asked, "You ever do that dance?" Flacco's response? Classic. Definitely not. I don't know if I've ever danced in public in my life. On the surface, it was harmless, veteran rookie banter that offered fans a smile during the heat of June OTAs. But in Cleveland, in this quarterback room, that moment hit different. It wasn't just entertainment. It was chemistry. It was also the beginning of something more profound, something strategic, something revealing, because behind the laughs and the thousands of likes that followed, a quiet storm was brewing, one that could reshape this season and perhaps the next decade. You've got Shedeur Sanders, the son, arriving in Cleveland with confidence, composure, and a digital following the size of a small nation. But he didn't come here just to trend. He came to conquer. And standing in his path, Joe Flacco, the veteran tactician with a Super Bowl ring, Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick known for his inconsistency, and Kenny Pickett, the unpredictable wild card. This isn't just a training camp battle. It's a war for the soul of the franchise, because lurking in the background are two potential top 10 picks in 2026. Think about that. If none of these quarterbacks can seize the throne, the Browns might have no choice but to use those picks chasing yet another quarterback. But if just one of them, just one, can rise above the fray, Cleveland can finally end the carousel and build around a true cornerstone. And here's where things get even more compelling. During recent OTA practices, reports emerged that Sanders looked sharp. Not just decent, not just promising, sharp. According to observers, he went 6 for 7 in second and third team reps, while Gabriel stumbled with a shaky 2 for 6. That sparked an online frenzy with fans asking the question, why isn't the most efficient quarterback getting first-team reps? Nathan Zagura broke it down. This isn't just about completion percentages or pretty spirals. Sanders is still learning the NFL's complexities. The cadence, the command, the pre-snap reads, the post-snap decisions. Joe Flacco has 191 NFL starts. He's lived this rhythm for over a decade. Kenny Pickett has 25. Sanders? 0. So while he's impressing the staff, he's still in the developmental phase for now. But patience doesn't mean indifference. Behind the scenes, Tommy Rees says Sanders is relentless. He's grinding, studying, evolving. The Browns aren't throwing him to the wolves. They're investing in his future. But the clock is ticking. If Cleveland doesn't fully evaluate Sanders this season, they'll be making critical decisions next year with a blindfold on. It's the danger. That's the tightrope walk. Every rep, every snap in preseason is part of a much larger trial, one that tests not just talent, but readiness, leadership, and franchise potential. Meanwhile, the quarterback room is tense. Gabriel's draft status buys him time. Sure, he's a third-rounder, there's capital invested, but the tape doesn't lie. Kenny Pickett hasn't separated himself either, and Flacco, as steady and respected as he is, isn't the long-term answer. So, all eyes are shifting to Shedeur. And while fans flood social media with memes of uncles and nephews dancing at weddings, Shedeur and Flacco, they're not just dancing for laughs, they're playing for hope. Browns fans have seen too many quarterback dreams fade. They want to believe. They want to ride this wave into September. But let's pivot, because while the quarterback storyline is ablaze, There's another narrative brewing on the other side of the ball, a tale equally potent, if not more so. Enter Myles Garrett. The Browns went all in a staggering $160 million 0-cent extension, the richest ever for a non-quarterback. That's not just a payday, it's a declaration. Garrett is the cornerstone of this defense. He's the foundation, and now he must deliver more than stats. He must deliver a culture, a standard. Jim Schwartz summed it up perfectly, quoting Spider-Man, "With great power comes great responsibility." Garrett has the sacks, the accolades, the Pro Bowls, but now he carries the weight of the entire franchise's defensive hopes. And the Browns didn't stop at signing a check. They gave him reinforcements. Mason Graham, their top draft pick, Carson Schweisinger, a tackling machine at linebacker, 2 rookies, 2 puzzle pieces chosen with surgical precision. Let's talk about Graham. He wasn't the obvious choice. The Browns passed on blue-chip prospects like Travis Hunter to get him. Why? Because they believe Graham, lining up next to Garrett, could become a nightmare for opposing offenses. Schwartz's defense is built on pressure, chaos, and disruption. And when Garrett draws double or even triple teams, it creates a highway for Graham to feast. If Graham hits, if he becomes that guy, the Browns could have a defensive front that devours games week in and week out. And what about Carson Schweisinger? The kid is raw, still learning, but he's a heat-seeking missile. 136 tackles, 90 solo, with the instincts to be a sideline-to-sideline threat. He's stepping into a linebacker core that lost its heart when Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah went down with that devastating neck injury. Joke may not play this season, but he's still here on the sidelines, coaching, leading. His spirit lingers, and that matters because this defense isn't just being built on pressure and tackles. It's being built on unity, identity, and purpose. While the national media might be laser-focused on Cleveland's quarterback carousel, let me tell you right now, this team is stockpiling ammunition on both sides of the ball. The Browns aren't just gearing up for a season, they're preparing for a transformation. If Shedeur Sanders proves he's the one, if Mason Graham explodes next to a Garrett, if Schweisinger settles in and Jokek returns in 2026, this could mark the dawn of a new Browns era. Not a rebuild, not a maybe next year, a full-throttle take-no-prisoners ascent. So now I'm turning the mic to you. If you're Andrew Berry, what's your move? Do you ride the wave with Sanders and hand him the reins early, or do you stay the course with the veterans while Sanders marinates? And on defense, are you already sensing the makings of the league's most fearsome front seven? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe if you're ready to ride with me all season long. This season, I don't just see Garrett showing up as a dominant pass rusher. I see him emerging as the emotional and physical tone setter for this entire defense. Let's be honest. That's what we've needed. The Browns have had flashes of defensive brilliance before, but now we need sustained greatness. Garrett, with all eyes on him, looks locked in and ready to take that next step. He's not just leading with his play. He's mentoring, raising the bar higher than ever before. And that brings me to Mason Graham. This isn't just a rookie finding his footing. This feels calculated. The way the coaching staff is pairing him with Garrett, the way Jim Schwartz is scheming, it's like we're witnessing a masterclass unfold. Garrett commands the double teams. Graham feasts in the gaps. And what's truly impressive is that Graham already looks like he gets it. He's not wide-eyed or overwhelmed. He's absorbing the playbook, adjusting to the speed, and applying his instincts. It's that beautiful collision of raw talent and elite coaching. And with a veteran like Garrett mentoring him every step of the way, this kid might not just contribute, he could burst onto the scene as a breakout force as early as week 1. Now, let's talk about the wild card, Carson Schweisinger. Look, you can't replace a presence like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. You just can't. JOK is special, a one-of-a-kick player, but Carson brings something different, something gritty, something dependable. He's got that relentless motor, that old-school linebacker toughness. He's always around the ball, always making something happen. And let's not forget, 90 solo tackles don't just appear out of thin air. That's the result of relentless preparation, film study, and insane field awareness. The coaching staff sees it, the players feel it, and if you've been paying attention, you know this guy is already carving out his place in the rotation. He might not be the loudest voice in the room, but when that whistle blows, he flips a switch. And let me tell you, when a defense has guys like that, guys who show up and grind every single snap, it raises the floor for the entire unit. But here's where it gets even more compelling and honestly, even more emotional. Joke might not be suiting up just yet, but don't think for 1 second he's not playing a crucial role from the sidelines to the meeting rooms. He's stepped into a leadership space that's even more powerful. He's inspiring, he's unifying, and that kind of energy, well, you can't measure that in stats. It's the glue, the heartbeat, the reason this defense might finally become something greater than the sum of its parts. And that's what's got me fired up. It's not just about talent anymore. About belief, about culture, about this defense becoming a brotherhood, not just a collection of good players. Sanders is showing that he respects the hierarchy and understands the team dynamic. It's earning him respect inside the facility and reshaping perceptions outside of it. He's fiercely competitive, no doubt, but also self-aware and humble, and he's got Kevin Stefanski's attention. Now, Browns fans, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Joel Bitonio's return and the fiery leadership he's bringing back to the offensive line room? Are you excited about Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders shaking up the quarterback competition? Drop your thoughts below. While the Browns' offensive trenches are returning to their physical, hard-nosed roots, the quarterback room is forging an entirely new chapter in Cleveland's football saga. Kevin Stefanski's blueprint is simple yet profound. Get Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders as many reps as possible. No snap wasted. Every OTA rep and mini camp drill, a chance to evaluate, to develop, to determine who truly deserves to step onto the field at First Energy Stadium this fall. But here's the beauty of it. These rookies aren't tearing each other down. There's respect, mutual curiosity, and a willingness to learn from one another and from the seasoned veterans who've been down this path before. As Stefanski himself put it, they're sponges in the meeting room. That's not just coach speak, it's genuine enthusiasm. While the media might be obsessed with stirring up drama, Stefanski sees something different. A quarterback room filled with young men eager to grow, to absorb every bit of knowledge, to hone their craft. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson each bring a unique brand of experience, and the rookies are soaking it all up. And then came another viral moment, a choreographed handshake between Shedeur Sanders and rookie defensive end Aiden Huntington. So here we are, Cleveland on the cusp of something monumental. And I'm asking you, how do you see this playing out? Can Garrett's leadership truly ignite Graham's rookie campaign into something historic? Can this defense live up to the hype even without Jayok on the field? Simply by having him in the building? Is this finally the year where we stop talking about potential and start talking about production? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you, and if you're as hyped as I am, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because this ride is just getting started. All right, let's pivot, because we've got to talk about this quarterback situation. And yes, I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders, because this kid just electrified Browns Nation. I don't think I've ever seen this much buzz around a rookie quarterback in Cleveland this early in camp. Shedeur came out and absolutely flashed in that recent practice. Sharp, confident, energetic. The guy's got that it factor you can't coach. And now fans are already chanting for him to start week 1. But hold up, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This quarterback room is deep. Dillon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and yes, the 40-year-old playoff legend Joe Flacco. Right now, that starting job is still wide open. Nothing's been handed out. Shedeur's got the arm. His college numbers were insane, 74% completion at Colorado, best in the FBS. But the red flags are real too. He's been sacked 94 times in 2 years. That's not just bad protection. That's holding onto the ball too long, drifting backward, trying to extend every play. And in the NFL, that'll get you eaten alive. But here's the thing. He knows that. And that's why I'm optimistic. He's already putting in the work. The mental side, locked in. Browns OC Tommy Rees even praised him this week for how quickly he's learning the offense and adjusting to pro speed. Reports from camp say he looked better than Pickett, Gabriel, and even Flacco in that last session. That's no small feat. Vegas isn't sold just yet, though. FanDuel has Flacco as the favorite to start week 1 at plus 116, Pickett at plus 230, Shedeur at plus 310, and Gabriel way back at plus 1960. So, yeah, the smart money is still on Flacco, and honestly, that makes sense. He and Kevin Stefanski caught fire last year, won 4 of 5 down the stretch, got us to the playoffs when no one thought it was possible. That chemistry, that leadership matters. But don't sleep on Shedeur. If he keeps stacking good practices, if he keeps learning the system and cleaning up those decision-making errors, we might have a legitimate quarterback controversy brewing. And for once, that's a good problem to have. So I'll throw it to you guys again. Should Sanders start week 1 if he keeps outperforming everyone in camp? Or should we ride the veteran wave with Flacco and give the kid time to develop? Let me know your thoughts below. And trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned. This Browns season isn't just about hope, it's about answers. And we're finally on the verge of finding some. Go Browns! Something is brewing in Berea, and it's not just another round of OTA. What should have been a routine preparation phase has transformed into something far more electrifying. A moment that's ignited Browns fans and sparked a social media frenzy. You can experience it all firsthand, but first hit that like button and drop a comment below. How long have you been a Cleveland Browns fan? It's inspiring to see fans of all ages here. No captions. No explanations. Just a series of photos posted to Instagram by rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, yet without uttering a single word, he may have said everything. Fresh off being drafted in the 5th round, 144th overall in the 2025 NFL Draft, Shedeur dropped a montage of Browns practice sessions, images that now feel more like a declaration than a casual post. It was him, helmeted, under center, launching spirals, standing alongside Browns coaches and teammates in various drills. But the real drama wasn't in the images themselves. It was in the reaction. Within minutes, fans were in a state of euphoria. QB1! One fan shouted. QB1, by the way, for the haters, another exclaimed. Can't spell QB without the 1 at the end, another wrote. The comments kept pouring in, each like a digital drumbeat, fueling a growing movement. The notion that maybe, just maybe, Shedeur Sanders is more than a depth piece. Maybe he's a legitimate contender to lead this team from day one. Pause for a second. Let's put some weight behind this hype. This isn't just some social media buzz around a rookie quarterback vying for reps. This is Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback whose surname carries legacy, but whose stats speak legitimacy all on their own. At Jackson State, under the tutelage of his Hall of Fame father, Dawand Sanders, Shedeur burst onto the college football scene as a freshman in 2021, throwing for 3,231 yards and 30 touchdowns, while securing the Jerry Rice Award as the top FCS freshman. Then came 2022, 3,732 yards and 40 touchdowns, earning SWAC Offensive Player of the Year honors and the Dawand Jones Trophy, and that was just the prelude. In 2023, he transferred to Colorado and rewrote the record book's 510 passing yards in a single game against TCU. The following season, 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns, capped with the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. This isn't just another rookie. This is a quarterback who's proven he can lead, produce, and thrive on the biggest stages. Big news is brewing in the AFC North. News that could reshape the entire landscape of the division and impact the Browns' path to their long-awaited Super Bowl run. We're talking about a seismic shift that might leave one of Cleveland's biggest rivals scrambling for years to come. And you're hearing it here first. But before we dive deep, if you're a diehard Browns supporter, hit that subscribe button to fuel this incredible community. Let's show our unity and passion. Let's help each other hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with your friends and fellow Dog Pound loyalists, and let's get fired up. Now, let's get to the breaking news. If you've been following the Browns closely this season, you know the energy in Cleveland is palpable. Under head coach Kevin Stefanski, this team has demonstrated resilience and an unmistakable drive to climb the ladder towards true Super Bowl contention. But what's making headlines lately isn't just the usual offseason chatter. It's a pivotal update that could send shockwaves through the entire AFC North, potentially altering the competitive balance of the league for years to come. Let's rewind and set the stage. Cleveland entered this season with sky-high expectations, especially after last season's near miss. Fans and analysts alike believed the Browns had assembled a roster poised for a deep playoff run. Defensively, led by superstars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, the unit has been stout, while the offense commanded by quarterback Deshaun Watson has shown flashes of brilliance. But as any seasoned fan knows, football is a game of inches, and sometimes it's the smallest details that define success and are one of the most intriguing storylines of the offseason. The addition of dynamic young quarterback Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Dawand Sanders. Shedeur, who made waves in college football at Jackson State in Colorado, is drawing attention for his arm talent, football IQ, and natural leadership. Browns fans everywhere are eager to see if he can become a future NFL star. And here's where things get especially compelling. Recent updates from Cleveland's coaching staff, particularly from head coach Kevin Stefanski, suggest that Shedeur's progress is not just hype, but a reality unfolding faster than many predicted. During recent OTA sessions and minicamps, Stefanski has openly lauded Shedeur's work ethic, his knack for absorbing complex playbooks, and his composure under pressure. This isn't just coaches speak. It's a strong indication that the Browns view Shedeur as a legitimate piece of their long-term puzzle. The staff sees him as both a developmental project and a potential competitor for playing time sooner rather than later. That's huge news for Browns Nation because it points to a future where Cleveland might have a dynamic dual-threat quarterback room, Deshaun Watson, the established leader, and Shedeur Sanders, the rising star. But here's the game changer. The AFC North is already one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Bengals with Joe Burrow have been a force. The Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, bring a dynamic offense and stingy defense. And the Steelers under Mike Tomlin are always a threat. For Cleveland to seize its moment, the team needs to be strategic, innovative, and unafraid to harness emerging talent like Shedeur Sanders. So what does this mean for the Browns' immediate future? If Shedeur keeps progressing at the pace we're seeing, it could mean several things. First, Cleveland might be positioning itself with a contingency plan. If Deshaun Watson struggles or gets injured, they'll have a talented young quarterback ready to step in. That's a game changer, giving the Browns flexibility and a competitive edge. Second, it could shape how Stefanski deploys his offense, possibly leaning on the run game and defense, while gradually integrating Shedeur into the mix to keep opposing defenses on their toes. And let's not underestimate the division implications. If Shedeur Sanders proves himself as a legitimate NFL starter, it will force the Bengals and Ravens to elevate their own games. The AFC North, already known for its physicality and intensity, could become even more of a pressure cooker with Cleveland introducing a new dimension at quarterback. For Browns fans, the stakes are enormous. This passionate fan base has endured years of highs and lows, but now there's a renewed sense of hope. It's not just about chasing a single season of success. It's about building a sustainable, competitive powerhouse for years to come. That's Stefanski's challenge, to nurture this young quarterback, integrate him seamlessly into the system, and create a culture of excellence. Looking at the bigger picture, Cleveland's roster is stacked with talent, particularly on defense. Myles Garrett remains one of the league's most feared pass rushers, while Denzel Ward's shutdown skills give the secondary a formidable presence. The offensive line has been rock solid, giving Deshaun Watson time to operate, and even though Nick Chubb's injury lingers, his past contributions remind everyone that Cleveland's run game, when healthy, can dominate. But in today's quarterback-centric NFL, the teams that groom young signal callers effectively are often the ones that achieve long-term success. And while Deshaun Watson is still the leader of this team, his experience, leadership, and undeniable talent, he knows the pressure is on to perform at the highest level, especially with the expectations that come with a fan base as passionate as the Browns. If Shedeur Sanders keeps developing, it could create healthy competition that elevates everyone's game. That's exactly the environment a successful team needs in the NFL's cutthroat landscape. Let's talk numbers. Last season, Cleveland's defense ranked among the league's best in points allowed and sacks, thanks to Garrett's relentless pressure and a cohesive secondary. Offensively, the team flashed brilliance at times but struggled with consistency, particularly at quarterback. The Browns are reconstructing from the inside out. Thank you guys. See you next video.